something that most people, very few people in my life know, that I have been struggling with depression. There's a time in high school when I had a very bad thing, when I feel so low and down, all I wanted was to smell blood. So I remember like I could even break glass and try to cut myself just so I can smell blood. To me, that was weird. I could not share with anyone. I was embarrassed. How can you tell someone that you miss blood unless you're demonic or something? Even in campus, at some point during my studies, I went through depression. But I did not know it was depression. Well, even if I knew, I never admitted it was depression. So I handled it how I thought was well. Someone noticed and told me, you need to see a doctor. I was like, how? Why am I seeing a doctor? I'm not sick. They told me, no, you're not well. Until last year, 2016, end of last year, I started falling sick. It affected my weight because I was overeating, and some other times I'm not eating well. But then it affected my psychological functioning. I was always having headaches, all these things. My sleep, I had crazy insomnia. It affected my relationships because I didn't know how to relate. I used to think and believe, because when I am stressed out, I eat junk food, I eat sweet foods. But then this time, my appetite is bad. I can't, my bowel movement was messed up, and I got sick. My head is just there, but I'm not sick like the way you can go to hospital and point out where you're sick. And that is when I was diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, which is a form of stress. It is a form of, a problem. It shows that it's the tummy that is affected, but it's the brain. According to my doctor, it's the brain that is causing all this pain. So I treated the IBS, and we thought everything was fine. And then I now sank into a depression that I could not understand. I could tell, when you're going through this depression, you see yourself there. You want to help yourself, but you can't. You really want to get out of this dark place. It's a dark, empty place where you feel stranded. I used to have panic attacks, but I didn't know what panic attacks were until one day when it caught me. I had told myself I can do this. I went for a meeting at TRM, and I sat. After the meeting, I could not leave that place. Panic attack is where you feel you're so scared of God knows what. You want to move from point A to point B, you cannot. And I was just crying, and I have no energy. I feel like when I try to rise up, I can't. And I just texted my friend and I told her, I am at this place. Please come and don't ask me any question. I had carried so much by myself. So much that I have so many patients I would want to help, but I can't. I have this I would want to do, I can't. I have so much, a big dream that I would want to have for, Kenya for treatment, and I can't. There's nothing much I can do. I was diagnosed with a borderline of bipolar. I also had anxiety. They gave it a name. I can't remember what, but it had something to do with anxiety and fear or something. And when I started therapy, January 2017, and I went through the therapy for 3 months. During the therapy is when we realized I had piled so much. I had not dealt with my childhood issues. I had not dealt with the pain I had gone through. I had not dealt with the fact that I actually went through cancer, because immediately after cancer, I just rose up and I moved on with my life, and I seemed okay. And to everyone, I seemed okay. But inside, I never dealt with it. So now it was coming to haunt me. So I was angry, and I never had closure, because every time I talked, I used to joke and say, I don't know whether my uterus was eaten by a dog or something. My doctor had to take me to where they dispose the body parts, and he explained to me, and that is when I got closure. Around that time, few of my friends were having children. I hated them. I had never dealt with what the reality of the matter, that I actually might not be able to carry my child biologically.
It was so hard for me to actually believe that I will let go of my uterus. It felt like I've been walking and now my leg has to be cut. It wasn't easy. It's still not easy. Because some days I wake up and I look at there are days I'm walking in the streets and every time I see a pregnant woman, it reminds me that I might never get married. Sometimes I hate it when I'm invited for baby showers. Sometimes it's so hard for me to... I love babies so much. My daughter knows that I love babies, so every time in church, and somehow babies love me. So sometimes it's so hard for me to see babies, but I love them so much I can't let go. It's a healing process. I'm still in process.
So what I've learned about depression is that for someone like me who believes, who have always been strong, we pile, then one day it just bursts on your face. I've seen so many of us, I've seen so many people, I know so many strong people out here who feel and know they can handle it, and they actually can handle it. But this depression just comes and takes you away. At some point, I was afraid of coming out because I thought, people will think I'm weak. People think I'm okay. Even now, when I meet someone new, we talk, and then when you mention the word cancer, everyone's like, oh my God, they feel like, wow, this is deep. But depression, there's usually even the reaction, the physical reaction is not as like, you can get over it. It wasn't taken with anything close to nothing close. The reactions cannot even be compared, because to many, cancer is a death sentence. To others, depression is just another state of mind that we sometimes... There's actually someone who told me that depression is a state of mind. It's somewhere you put your mind and you tell yourself you're depressed. There's nothing like depression. It was a hard time, and it's still a process. Depression, you don't get over it in a day. But one thing I wish I would be able to help someone understand when they are not going through depression. You know, most people have never gone through depression. So when someone tells you they feel depressed, you tell them, snap out of it. Get out of it. You're strong. What is wrong with you, woman? I was told that by several people. Snap out of it. They think it's something you can just wake up. I know it has a lot to do with your mind, with your thoughts and all those things, but it's not as easy, and we need help. When you see someone going through something like that, you need to help them rise. You need to help them hold their hand and walk with them.